Last time on One Piece, Luffy was defeated yet again, thanks to the intervention of one of the CP0 members, and thus Kaido came from on high, declaring, Straw Hat Luffy is dead. Surrender now, and become my slaves. And the choice few stood up, with a rousing speech by Nami, and Yamato even tried to convince Momonosuke that life under servitude of Kaido is no way of living at all. You're still gonna die, so why not fight for your freedom? However, it wasn't the end of Luffy. Something inside him seems to have awoken. Let's find out what it was. Alright, One Piece, chapter 1044, Warrior of Liberation. So he truly has become Joyboy. But what does being Joyboy mean? That was my thing. I've been waiting for a Luffy awakening. Everybody's been calling it. But it's just like, Zunisha called him Joyboy. What does that mean? I don't want him to become a completely different person. I don't even know if I want his devil fruit to be something different as well. But is it going to be Rubber World? Bounce House? What is he going to become? What is he going to create? We also have Germa 66's An Emotionless Excursion Volume 8. Mama's away on her trip. Begin the experiment. Looks like several members of the Charlotte family are going to vivisect Niji and Yonji. Really does beg the question, how did they get out of this? You can already tell it. There's this weird, ominous atmosphere still going on. Oh, okay. Is this Luffy talking? Saying, what happened to me? Why can I still stand, even though I lost? I'm having fun for some reason. That is actually kind of creepy. Okay. So has he become even more like Kaido? Having fun, even getting pummeled? And there's just hockey emanating from the top of the Skull Dome. Momonosuke tells Yamato, Luffy is Joyboy? Yamato responds, is that what Zunisha is saying? Cut to Pleasure Hall, Left Brain Tower. Sanji awakens, and the one girl he was with is like, Eek, you're awake, Sir Pirate. But I guess he noticed Luffy's hockey. He says, Luffy? So I guess everybody with observation hockey has taken notice of Luffy. Performance floor. Kid notices. He goes, Law notices. Hyogoro notices. He says, what? Is that you, Straw Hat fellow? Marco notices. Straw Hat. Hey, he's still breathing. And an overjoyed Nami and Otama say, Luffy's alive! Big Brother's still breathing! What is going on though? Oh my god. What does that mean though? Okay, let me just read this first. Sacred Merijoa, the Hall of Power, Pangea Castle. And the Gorosei talk amongst themselves. Okay, they've been communicated with the last remaining CP0 agent standing. So we've lost an elite agent. And made Kaido angry. What was the point? What if I told you One Piece was good this week? Okay, what if I told you that there was a potential future that would make us beg for this outcome? It is always better to eliminate dangerous variables. In every area, the world government has attempted to recover the gum-gum fruit, and not once has it ever succeeded. For 800 years. But why did you give Luffy such a low bounty then, all things considered? Then again, they did talk about Luffy initially. Because I've gone back and watched, when the initial bounty was given to Luffy, they made it up like it was a big deal, all things considered. But they didn't make the bounty high. They just stated Luffy was someone to watch out for. The Gorosei continue. It is as though the devil fruit is trying to escape our grasp, and it very well may be. Zone fruits contain a will of their own, and this particular fruit has the name of a god. The other name of the gum-gum fruit is the Zoan-type human fruit, mythical type model, Nika. The way that's stated, almost as though the name was always the gum-gum fruit, but people just assumed based on the abilities of the person. Because I kind of just prefer it to be the gum-gum fruit. not a human fruit. Like, they say it like the other name of the gum fruit, but they still call it a zoan fruit. Okay, let me continue. That is wild, though. A mythical zoan. But it's not the Monkey King like a lot of people thought. Alright. Possessing a body with the properties of rubber, and fighting it whatever way he fancies, bringing smiles to the faces of the people, the warrior of liberation, also known as Nika, the sun god. Awakening brings his rubbery body greater physical strength and freedom. It is said that in all the world, there is no power more ridiculous. So what, does he turn into a cartoon? Does he go full rubber hose? That is wild, though. That is so fucking wild. I don't know if I like it, though. That's the only problem. Like, I like Luffy being the rubber man, the gum fruit, all that. And up until now, mythical fruits have all been things that we know about. Buddhas, dragons, this, that, and the other. But Nika? Like, is that right? Is that correct? Alright. Treasure repository. Second floor, Onigashima. Orochi. Hiyori, I loved Oden too, you know. Think carefully now. Oh, he's trying to talk his way out of this. I was being used by Kaido. Come, let's escape his wrath together. Now undo the nails. And Hiyori says, after you have kicked dirt upon every samurai to whom you owed a debt, who do you expect will listen to you now? My father upheld his promise to you. Did he not? Ooh, she's going in. This is what we've been waiting for, though. Like, Hiyori just be like, no, you're gonna sit here. I'm gonna tell you every crime you committed. Then you have my permission to die. He trusted in the deal that he made with you and Kaido to liberate Wano. For 5 long years, my father danced and made a fool of himself, never once explaining himself to his own family. My father kept his word. He believed that you would free the people in the end, and withstood 1 hour of your boiling cauldron. He withstood the searing burns of the bubbling oil. Despite the smile that never left his face, he bore your torments all alone, because the entire country was taken hostage. You can see that her voice is shaking and shifting. His suffering was unimaginable. And then she remembers back Oden saying, "What's the matter, Hiyori?" And the young Hiyori says, "Doesn't it feel bad when everybody says mean things about you, father?" And Oden says, "Not at all, my dear." "Why not?" "Because I have all of you." And Hiyori said, "Really? Then we'll be together forever." And Orochi, still begging for his life, says, "Actually, I realize now that Oden was a great samurai. In fact, speaking as Shogun, I think your father deserves..." And she finally drops the mask. It wasn't just tears flowing, it was anger and hatred in her eyes. And she shouts at Orochi, "My name is Kazuki Hiyori. Hold your tongue, you knave." Orochi reacts. And Hiyori continues, "No matter the growling of empty stomachs and the rags I had to wear, I never shamed my father's name. You were never the shogun, not even for a single day. Wicked, foolish, and wretched. The worse you became, the greater the insult to the lives that were lost." And Orochi says, "Hey, not so fast. Don't do anything rash now. Revenge is antiquated. It's behind the times, and killing me won't make it any easier to beat Kaido." Oh, and the Kazenbo, this little bit of it, it says, "Lord Orochi, I have failed." Orochi says, "Is that Kanjuro?" So the Kazenbo was essentially the last bit of Kanjuro's spirit. And the Kazenbo says, "I am spent." Orochi begs it, "No, perfect timing. I give you a new play to perform. Burn that woman to death. Leap onto her clothing. We'll call it the failure of the woman's 20-year revenge. Alas, what a tragic tale. Witness the plight of Hiyori, remnant of the Kazuki name. This is the fate of all who were once mighty." So much for that begging from before. Wow, that truly is karma. The Kazenbo falls towards Orochi as he says, "Hey, no, not over here!" And he just falls right on top of Orochi as he just burns. Hiyori says, "The dawn is sure to come." As Orochi cries out, "Kadro, you idiot! Help me, Hiyori!" And it's funny too because he has no one to blame but himself. And Hiyori simply says, "The Kazuki clan always keeps its promises." And Luffy, full on rubber hosing it up in the sky, is like, "Ooh, I can do everything I wanted to do. I think I can fight a bit longer. My heartbeat sounds so funny." Almost like it's a drum beat. This is the pinnacle of what I can do. This is Gear 5. So Gear 5 is an awakening then. I mean, that's the only place it could go. You know what? I'm gonna stick with what Luffy thinks this is. I'm still gonna call it the Gum Gum Fruit. I'm gonna call this Gear 5. Just an immense amount of hockey is just radiating from the top of Onigashima as everyone, including Kaido, looks up. Hyogoro notices the Beast Pirates pass out. Kaido says, "What is it, men? What is up there on the roof? Holy whoa! That is insane." As several of the Beast Pirates keep passing out, one of them, who is still able to stand, says, "Hey, what's wrong? Is that Supreme King Haki? Where is it coming from?" And then a giant fist reaches out from the top of the dome and grabs onto Kaido. What? Oh, he is a cartoon. And it was just like, you thought it was silly now? You thought it was silly before. You ain't seen shit yet, you fucks. Oh my god, I love the way he just grabs onto Kaido. Law has this deadpan look on his face. Kid says, "Straw Hat?" Chopper is bawling his eyes out. "Is that Luffy?" And Luffy has this wicked grin on his face. And I love the way he pulls Kaido up and Kaido's eyes just go bugging out of his head like, what? The Beast Pirates are like, Kaido? As Kaido is pulled through the roof. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Luffy is turned into the friggin' mask. It's the powers of the mask. So Luffy, I guess, wraps his arm around Kaido, starts swinging him around. Kaido's eyes are bugged out of his head. And then Luffy takes Kaido and full on pulls the Hulk, just slamming him into the ground. Bam! 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 Oh, this is ridiculous. Slams Kaido down. Luffy is laughing his ass off. Kaido full on has cartoonish lumps on his head. And then Kaido goes back to serious mode and says, "Straw Hat, you survived. Thank you." It's just like, you lived. Great, I can kill you again. Oh my god, what? Ooh, people are gonna be mixed on this. Luffy is just down laughing as the blast comes at him. He's just like, huh? He notices the blast. Eyes pop out of his head like a cartoon. He takes the ground, lifts it up. Oh man, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I guess he did manage to inject some of the rubber properties into the ground as it bounces back the Boro breath. And it hits Kaido as Luffy is just laughing his ass off. As we see the caption, Gear 5. And Kaido, still looking serious, says, "I'm sorry about that idiot earlier. I didn't want to win that way." And Luffy just smiling says, "No, don't sweat it. Let's finish this up." Oh, this is gonna leave so many people so divided. I still don't know how I feel about calling it the human fruit mythical model Nika or whatever. But I would love to, I'm just personally for me, I'm just gonna call it Gum Gum Fruit, Gear 5 Awakening, Rubber Hose, or some shit like that. Because that's essentially it is. He just becomes a full-on cartoon character. And it actually kind of makes sense, too, because it's just like the ability to do whatever you want. Absolute freedom. The absolute pinnacle of playfulness. Silliness taken to its absolute. Because honestly, that's always been the thing in a lot of fights that Luffy has had. It's always been a little silly, Taking down Kuro with the Gum Gum Bell, biting at the crocodile, the water Luffy thing. I feel like this is Oda's way of saying, you've been taking this story way too seriously. And the idea that the previous holder of this fruit was named Joyboy makes so much sense now. The fact that the treasure of One Piece was one that would, the story of it, whatever story that Roger came upon and his crew came upon, filled them with laughter, makes so much sense now. It's like, yeah, of course they'd laugh their asses off. It's a fucking cartoon. It's silly, it's wacky, it's hilarious. Not to mention, Luffy, the entire time, is just laughing it up. It's a serious battle, but he's not taking it that way. And even those who he interacts with end up looking cartoony. Like Kaido, when he's thrown around by Luffy, just seems to be a lot less serious in how he's approached. Greater manipulation of his body. Manipulation of the area that surrounds him, that he interacts with. Yeah, this is an awakening. Again, I don't know how I feel about the name not being the Gum Gum Fruit. I think I do remember someone mentioning that it might be Rubber Hose. Who was it? Damn it! Got caught up in all this talk of resin and this, that, and the other. But someone somewhere had mentioned that it might be like Rubber Hose. I feel like someone I know had mentioned this previously. I wish I could remember who it was. But I also love this moment with Hiyori, just getting it all out there. But honestly, this is very One Piece with the way, if this is how Orochi is taken out, this is very One Piece. Because you remember in Dressrosa with, Diamante and Kyros and Rebecca, no one really got their revenge on him. He fell backwards, hit his head, and died. Like this series has a very common theme of making it so that the character wanting revenge usually doesn't get it. And most characters don't get revenge in this series. Not in the way that you would expect. Not directly. There's always someone else or something else who intervenes and gets that revenge for them. It happens a lot in this series. Hell, take any of the main characters. Nami didn't take down Arlong, Luffy did. And that's always just a very common theme in this series. Sanji never took revenge on his dad or any of his brothers. Ultimately, helping them was the greatest revenge. This series has always had just this message of, ultimately the person who's done wrong will get their comeuppance in some way, shape, or form. But man, Hiyori going off was awesome. I loved it. I really did love it. Just that intense look. That was good. But Zoan type human fruit mythical type model Nika. I don't know. But I love the description. I want to just think that maybe that was just that. But I guess it would have to be essentially a Zoan type. Because of the way that Luffy looking so much like the sun god Nika of the past. Possessing a body with the properties of rubber. Fighting it whatever way he fancies, bringing smiles to the faces of the people, the warrior of liberation, also known as Nika the sun god. Awakening brings his rubbery body greater physical strength and freedom. It is said that in all the world, there is no power more ridiculous. That just sums it up. But I don't know. Because a rubbery body, that just feels paramecia. But mythical Zoans have been shown to be able to do so many different things. It's just that Nika, there are no tales in our world of a god named Nika, the sun god. And to have the abilities of a rubbery body, that's out there too. So is it just that I guess my ultimate problem is the fact that essentially Oda has made up a mythical creature that we've never even heard of, just to kind of suit his own agenda. Which is fine, all things considered, but I like the idea of people calling it a mythical fruit when it was always just a paramecia. But then Luffy wouldn't look so much like Nika if that was the case. But the way that his body functioned, is that why Dragon saved him? Because of what he knew that this fruit could do. But it also raises the question, why didn't more characters chase after him if the Gorosei feared it this much? But then again, they've dealt with it repeatedly, apparently for 800 years. So I would have to assume that not everyone who gained the power was always able to make full use of it. It raises so many more questions than it answers. Like, I was more hyped by the fight than the actual revelation, because I felt like so many people speculated that, well, once we were informed that the fruit had another name, I wasn't really happy with the idea that the Gum Gum fruit had another name, because I like it just being the Gum Gum fruit. But the abilities, what it does for Luffy, they feel so spot on. It feels 150% Luffy. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this new power? Gear 5, Awakening, all that good stuff. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe for more. Until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.